Hello, everyone. Welcome back to Speak to Transform show. Today's guest is going to share with you all about how you can step into your unique identity and energy and accomplish the vision that is on your heart. And all of this came about as a process. So, if you are in a place where you feel stuck, maybe you feel held back from either your personal life or your business life, maybe you've been doing all the right things, you think, and you're just spinning your wheels and you feel like, I don't know what else I need to do, then you're going to want to tune in today and learn from my guest who's going to share all about his journey, as well as maybe something that might help unlock you and help you move forward. So my guest today is Marcus Tebol.
Well, thank you very much. I mean, what an introduction. I mean, we're really honored to be on the show here. So thank you very much.
You are most welcome, Marcus. You and I met in a group that we are part of, that in terms of coaching and just helping us to go to the next level, but also to become more of who we are created to be. And I was fascinated by some of the work that you're doing. But before we get into that, I would love it if you would share a little bit of your background and how you got started doing what you're doing today.
Well, where shall I start? I think, well, to cut a long story short, I mean, well, I'm a guy, right? And a typical career as a guy, I mean, was that really being in the corporate environment. So I was an international manager. I was sitting in boardrooms and CEO boardrooms and helping companies all over the world in a way. I mean, to step forward in terms of transformation, changing the processes and so forth. So really a masculine way of doing things with strategy, action points, to-do lists, KPIs, and benchmarking. And I did this for a very, very long time, I would say. For roughly 14 years ago or 15 years ago, as I stepped out as being really in the corporate world, but became an entrepreneur, but not really leaving that corporate world in that sense, because I was an interim manager and consultant. Still, again, doing everything, I mean, from a pure masculine way of working and hustling and grinding, until I realized, hey, there has to be more in life. I mean, not just hustling and not seeing your family, not seeing your wife, but I'm really doing something which creates impact and also has a positive impact on my life as well as on my family's life. So that was for me the turning point. I mean, to really become something which gives me joy every day, is really helping other people, to entrepreneurs, really to step into their future, having not only painting the vision board, but becoming the identity of really living that vision today. So that was a very long story cut really short, I would say.
No, but you gave a really good synopsis of it. And something that stuck out to me when you were sharing was this whole concept of having an impact out in the world, which I think that a lot of people would identify with that, in terms of, yeah, most heart-centered people would like to have an impact in the world if you're a people person or you're working with people. But it's the other part of that, is realizing that if you're not impacting also in your own world, your personal life or your family, or you feeling fulfilled in that, then something's going to be out of alignment, right? There's a disconnect in some way.
There's definitely then a disconnect. And this is, I mean, alignment, impact. I mean, these are all vocabularies I'm using on a day-to-day basis, because as an entrepreneur, I mean, we're not just creating a business. I mean, for me, being an entrepreneur, like you, I mean, coaching great women to become really great on being on a stage, or me helping entrepreneurs, it's not just a business. Of course, I'm not the business, but I mean, the business is part of my lifestyle. And I, of course, want to do something which gives me joy and gives also the satisfaction that I'm actually doing something good, and seeing the twinkle in the eyes of my coaches. So this is really good, because I want to do a lot of work there. Well, I want to earn money, but at the same time also have a great life. So it has to fall all together. So doing something with impact, doing something what you love, and creating a life around that. I mean, that's the alignment part.
That is beautiful because I know that that's something that I speak to my clients about too. Is and by the way, men come to me too to get speaking coaching.
Okay, perfect.
I work with men as well, but yes, my leading thing is I work a lot with women entrepreneurs. But just like you, I stepped into the entrepreneur world many years ago. But here's what I came to discover, and I heard you just say that about whole thing is many people struggle with this concept of building a business, a profitable business, and yet not having it overtake your life. So what you just said, I think is really key is how do you create a business around your lifestyle? Putting this, the value based or the identity, as you call it, the identity based who you are, and then how do you create the business so that it doesn't impinge upon or even devour who you are, right? But it's able to do that. So let's talk a little bit about what you focus on is because I know you talk about having identity-based coaching and you have taken some of the concepts from your corporate world and corporate experiences into working with entrepreneurs. And you spoke a little bit about the masculine energy and stuff. What are some of the things that you've discovered along the way that maybe weren't working that you yourself discovered that you had to go into in terms of that now is helping your clients?
Yeah, I mean, well, it's all based on my personal story, I would say. I mean, as in the introduction, I already said that. I mean, I was more focused in the past on strategy and optimizing myself and well, time management, and so the really hard stuff and masculine stuff. And
So
at
can
some
I just
point,
pause there for a moment? I just want to pause there for a moment. Sorry about the interruption. So define that because people mean different things, right?
Mhm.
Masculine energy,
Okay, okay.
feminine energy in the context that you use it.
Okay, so masculine energy, I mean, for me is really, I mean, you need to have a strategy, you need to have the to-do list. I mean, everything is just out of the energy. You need to get things done, no matter how you're feeling, and no matter what kind of mindset you're having. I mean, just get over it. I mean, like being hard to yourself because, I mean, you're a male. I mean, you have to be just just do the stuff. And yes, I mean, you can get very far with it. I mean, it was very successful in that. But deep down, I mean, if you're doing something which you don't really, well, is not aligned with your core values, is not really aligned with what you really want to do, or that you're not seeing the impact you're having, and you just focus on, here, this is a task, I need to do it, then you're misaligned. And the feminine energy is more that also looking into okay, what are really your core values? Is this really for you? I mean, what kind of energy and energy state are you in? I mean, do you love what you do, or do you hate it, right? And in the end, I actually saw that what I was doing, I wasn't hating it, but it wasn't doing me any good because I was sacrificing so much. And now I'm turning it the other way around. I focus more on, okay, as an entrepreneur, the first thing you have to watch out is your energy. So what do you do to recharge? Like, I mean, if you have a mobile phone, the masculine energy would be, I use the phone until the battery is dead, right? I mean, combining those is, okay, I need to have a proper charged phone in order to use it. So for me, it's the energy part, really looking, okay, what brings you into a positive state, into a feeling of abundance, feeling of luck, helping other people. And out of this positive way, I mean, things get so much easier. And you also see a lot of more opportunities in the world, and a lot of great people will come to your world. Like, I mean, I mean, we met also by incidents in a way. And this is more like, okay, follow your intuition, follow your well, what you really love to do, and that's
Mhm.
really the feminine part, and you can combine that. So
Mm.
it's strategy as well as the energy part.
Yeah, and I love that. I think that would you say that that's the optimum when you can bring a combination of both of those into I mean, if that's truly how you operate and how you function. I know I would say I have a combination of two of those, right? That I've developed into in terms of the valuing of what you would class and almost like you and correct me if I'm misunderstanding this, but some some people might describe it as almost like a logical as an emotional, or a head and a heart. It's
Yeah,
kind of like as masculine, feminine. There's a combination of two ways of operating, or two ways of maybe connecting with yourself, becoming aware of who you are and how you operate. Do you
yeah.
want to comment on that?
Yeah, well, there are different concepts or different terms for it, but basically they're all describing the same. I would actually say that three things come together. I personally say it's the energy part, it's the identity part, and the strategy. So
Mm,
heart, body, and soul, would other people would call it. Because yes, you can feel in a very good energy, right? Looking, okay, what are you thinking? What are you talking to yourself? Are you talking in like you're talking to a good friend, or are you talking to
mhm,
yourself like somebody who don't love, right? This
mhm,
is right. And this is the energy part, and well, the strategy part is really, okay, I know what I want to do. I have a business, I'm working on it. I of course have to do things on a daily basis or on a weekly basis to build my business. And the thing which brings both parts together is, for me, the identity part. So who do I have to become, or who will I be actually when I'm living my dream? So every entrepreneur
mm.
has a dream, every entrepreneur has a vision. But who's that person in that vision for whom that vision is normal,
Right.
right?
Yes.
And
Yes.
that's a
Yeah.
different operational state.
Yeah, that is so good, because it's the being. You have to be before you can do, and the doing comes out of the being. Otherwise, it's not fulfilling, it's not going to last. Yeah. This is such good work. So what I hear you saying is, because you are a business coach as well, you work with businesses, you work with helping entrepreneurs in their business, is that you start with the business owner, or the the
Yes.
founder, in terms of that. Is that correct?
That's correct. It's either solopreneurs as well. Either other coaches or speakers or people who are
Mhm.
working online, or also CEOs of small companies. So I'm really concentrating on those entrepreneurs who really have the power to decide what's happening in their
Mm.
business. Let me put it this way.
Yeah.
And yeah, I start with them, and this is my focus.
What is some of the things that you have found holds people back from really stepping into that, what you call their future vision, or that their true identity? What do you find are the struggle points that hold people back?
Mm. Yeah, it's two things. Well, all of us have heard this saying. Well, it's all your mindset, right?
Mm,
Limiting beliefs and imposter syndrome and all those words. But you can break it down with one of the most, from my side, most used quote, which I used in the old days in the business world, from Henry Ford. And it's like,
mm,
if you think you can do it, or if you think you can't do it, you're always right.
right.
That's basically the principle. So when you start as an entrepreneur to do something, there's no guarantee that what you're doing is actually well is doing what it should do, right? And that
Mhm.
you're being successful. So you're basically betting on your future and betting on your capabilities to bend the reality, or to follow the strategy or get the success. But
Yeah.
you're always coming from a point of view where the future is still to be decided. And you can decide then, either you trust yourself, and either you have a self-belief that no matter what the universe or the circumstances or environment is throwing at you, that you're capable of coping with it, or not. And those ways of thinking, decides on how successful you become. If you don't trust
Mm,
yourself, you better don't start the business in the first place, right? And sometimes people are stuck, and sometimes they procrastinate decisions, or they're having an itchy feeling in the stomach, and they don't know why. And at this point, I step in and really dive into, well, their belief system at first, but also in their identity, to really uncover what are their core values, what is it, what they really want to achieve and work.
mm. That's so good. So it's really coming back to that belief system as well, about who what's possible, but also, are they able to do it? Do they have what it takes? Is that correct?
Yes, yes. And of course, I mean, we are, I mean, everybody can step into becoming an entrepreneur. Everybody can step into becoming successful on his own
Mhm.
terms. I mean, success doesn't always mean to become a millionaire or something.
Yeah.
Just has to be, means that, I mean, you can live your dream life, but you have to step into an agency mode so that, I mean, you're taking full responsibility. And
Mm.
yes, I mean, we are all grown up, and we have all our backstories, and we have all learned or learned something in the past. Well, don't take yourself so serious. I mean, like being on stage, right? I mean,
Mhm.
being the first time on stage, I mean, a lot of things, I mean, pop up. I mean, am I good enough? I mean, how do I look? I mean, is what I'm saying correct or not? So a lot of those negative talks are coming up, and this is
Mhm.
based on your past. And yeah, I mean, we have to clear out a lot of those past stories, um, in order to grow, in order to do something new. Um, and this is what people, what entrepreneurs, or well, people in general, I mean, is holding them back from really stepping into what is meant for them. It's the
Mm.
past.
Do you have a process, Marcus, that you bring your clients along?
Yeah, I mean, it all starts. I mean, it's more or less a three-step process. I mean, also looking into, well, either on the personal side, is really to tap into understand what is really your vision. That is, I mean, some people think they know what they want,
Mhm.
but digging deeper into your core value system, and have a process for that, sometimes they realize, hey, what I was thinking, what I wanted to have, is not really what satisfies me. It's not really what I'm meant here for. Like me personally, I always dreamt of being, I mean, the consultant, the international manager. I mean, jumping out of a helicopter, saving companies. Right? I was I was I was dreaming about that until I really realized that my true passion is really helping, not helping. Helping is a bad word for that, but supporting, empowering other people, really stepping into their power and seeing that twinkle when they have overcome that hurdle. So first is really to dive deep into that vision. How is your vision looking like? And then the second part is, okay, who is then that person? How does he or she thinks? How does he or she behaves? How does he or she makes decisions? What is he wearing, doing? And so really embodying, I mean, that future version of that person to really see what can be done today. Because I mean,
Mm.
you have to
Wow.
be, as you said, yeah, you have to be first, and then the outcome is there. And the last bit, yeah, I mean, that's okay. What do I then have to do on a strategy point of view? I mean, what is the next step, right?
Right.
Only the next step, more or less, which brings me forward to my vision. So I think
Right.
these
What
are an
Kinda like
overview.
reverse engineering. What do I need to do today to be to be that person who's going
Yeah.
to walk in that vision? So good. So good. Marcus, who if someone is listening today and they want to get in touch with you and find out more about what you do, how can they do that?
Well, just type in my name. So marcustebol.com is my website. I mean, but you also find me on LinkedIn, on Instagram, on Facebook. Well, it's basically my name, Marcus Tebol. Just type it in Google and you'll find, well, me anywhere.
Perfect, perfect. Well, thank you so much, Marcus. It's been such a joy to get to know you and what you do and to helping others to understand that. And thank you for the work that you do in showing up and being a courageous entrepreneur in the world. And I know that you live in Germany,
Yes,
but yes, but just for our listeners' sake, you also work with people in other countries, correct?
yes, definitely, and that's also the reason why I switched my whole coaching business. I mean, to the international market now, because I want to help more people. I mean, not only within the German or German-speaking countries, but there's so many great people out there, and I love to talk English. Although I do have a German accent, and sometimes I'm searching for words. But yeah, I'm supporting international.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Marcus. I look forward to staying connected with you. And if you're listening today and there's something that resonated with you that you want to know more about, you want to get in touch with Marcus, I want to encourage you to seek him out on his social media channels and see whether or not he may be able to help you step into your future vision and be able to accomplish the goals and the dreams that you have in your heart. So thank you again, Marcus, and thank you everyone for tuning in.
Thank you, Lisa, for having me.
You are welcome. Bye, everyone. See you next time.
Bye.
As you're listening today, you may have felt prompted to say, I want to become a much better speaker. I want to be able to speak with confidence, clarity, and transformational impact. I want to invite you to check out the link in the comments below, wherever you're listening to this. Your voice is an instrument of transformation and needs to be heard. So let it be heard.